or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Welcome back to the TV24 News. Let's go to Chandler Tyree for sports.
Welcome to TV24 Sports. I'm going to try to be quick today. We got a lot of sports to cover and some important interviews at the end. But first, I want to recognize our TV24 Athletes of the Week. First, our male athlete of the week. Our male athlete of the week this week is Oxford Baseball's Hayes Harrison. Hayes Harrison is the ace pitcher for the Oxford Yellow Jackets. Coach Brooks probably won't say that because they have a deep staff, but he has been the Game 1 starter for all 3 of their playoff series for the Jackets so far. Our next athlete of the week will be our female athlete of the week. Our female athlete of the week is Jorda Crook from the Ohatchee Indians. Jorda Crook is no stranger to accolades. She is a star basketball player, a star volleyball player. She just won 2 state titles in track this past year. Our female athlete of the week, Jorda Crook of the Ohatchee Indians. Talladega College signee Weaver's Nick Ledbetter wins the low medalist at the North 3A Sub-State. If you've ever played golf with this guy, which I've had the opportunity to do, he is an amazing golf player, and we look forward to seeing what he can do at state next week. Piedmont's girls golf team. Piedmont's girls golf team finished second in their sub-state, so they will also advance to the state tournament next week. Jacksonville State football season tickets are on sale now. Go to jsugamecocksports.com/tickets or call 1-877-JSU-TICKS. That's with 2 X's on that. 1-877-JSU-TICKS. KJ Britt, Oxford product and Auburn University product, and currently with the Tampa Bay Bucks, is hosting a free camp June the 17th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Register at kjbritt.eventbrite.com. KJ Britt is one of my favorite players that I've had the opportunity to coach. I coached him as a sophomore at Oxford High School. Your kid will learn a lot, and he'll be around a great individual. Oxford faces off with the Coleman Bearcats tomorrow at Bud McCarty Field for a trip to the state finals. We caught up with head coach Wes Brooks earlier today.
At this point, it's all about routine, just making sure our players are healthy, getting the cuts that they need to get, whether it's ground balls, flat grounds, bullpens, their long calls. Just the same routine the last 2 or 3 weeks. When you prepare to win a championship, it's not the day of, the day before. It starts back, in June and July. But Coleman's a tough team. They're solid. You can't put your thumb on what they do so great. They're just really good defensively. They're really good. They're tough to strike out. All their pitchers throw strikes. But our guys are playing well right now. I believe in our guys, and I wouldn't pick any other team in the state to coach except the guys that I'm coaching right now.
I hear you. Go Big O. Good luck, Coach, and we'll be here supporting you tomorrow.
Tune in to TV24 tomorrow from 4 to 5 for the pregame show as we meet with some of the members of the 1978 team that defeated Coleman in the semifinals 45 years ago. We were also able to catch up with Oxford grad and current St. Clair County football coach Tyler Robinson. We asked him what was he trying to implement in his short time so far with the Saints.
Probably the 2 biggest things that we've been harping on and implementing really here in the past few months, since March 1st really, has been, a tough mentality and, implementing a culture. Okay. Now you hear that used a lot. Okay. Nowadays you really do, especially when a new coach comes in. He always talks about changing a culture, establishing a culture, changing a mentality, right? But what does that really mean? What does that really look like? To me, walking through the doors here again, we were 1-39 football team in the past 4 years. But just back in 2017, when Coach Glover, who's currently at Etowah, was here, these guys went to the semifinals. Okay. And if you ask him too, should have been the state championship game. But the big thing here is, going 139, it kind of creates a losing mentality. When things get hard, the natural thing when you lose that much is to fold.
We will also come back tomorrow with that. We asked Coach Robinson how much of a difference it was from the college level being back at the high school level, so we will look at that interview tomorrow.
That was great.
It was awesome.
So we just want to thank each of you for tuning in to the TV24 News presented by Team One Chevrolet of Gadsden. Signing off from Oxford, Alabama, everyone have a good night.
Beginning Monday, January the 16th, join Dee, Wayne, and the entire gang for the all-new Dee Ford Show.
Dee, how did it come to be? It goes back to the days we was riding around down in Panama City Beach.
Yeah.
And I said, you know, we ought to do a TV show.
Like Country Boy Eddie.
But you told me I had a good face for radio.
Right,
so,
you do.
You know, well, okay, thank you very much.
The Dee Ford Morning Show, weekday mornings from 5:30 to 7, right here on the Community Television Network.
Welcome back to the Buckethead and King Show. I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's hard being Buckethead and the King. I'm just letting y'all know. You just can't start at the top. Buckethead and the King is not no greatness. And the King's popping his collar. I pop my collar. Go against the team. Yes, you don't have to hate nobody. Just dislike them a little bit. We're gonna do some run-on sentences. We're gonna mess around there and say won't when it's supposed to be a different won't. And do not try to call up here and try to check us either. Because I'm telling y'all right now, can't nobody beat us bragging on us. Yeah, don't nobody like to talk more about themselves than Buckethead the King does. Don't ever forget that I got my newspaper in my wallet.
Welcome back to High School Primetime Buckethead and the King Show. King done got me rolling up here. I mean, already I can't even talking about bragging on ourselves.
Oh, boy.
Talking about his wife said we really do a good job of that.
She said, man, listen, I think she was ear hustling on me and you. I told her, I said, now get out of our conversation, man. She said, y'all sure know how to brag on each other.
We do that now, for sure.
Did we not start off telling them, hey, we know how to do that?
Well, I mean, here's the problem. We told them they can't complain because ain't nobody going to brag on me and you more than me and you. And here's the thing. If you're a true salesman, you can't nobody sell yourself better than you can.
You got to. So, I told me, listen, Ray Charles said I can tell my story just better than anybody else. Let you tell your own story, man.
Tell your own story. That's why we like to bring people on here so they can tell their own story. But I got one for you right now.
What you got? Oh, boy, boy, you're cutting up, Buckethead.
I always do. It's one of them nights, you know.
It's what?
It's one of them nights.
One of them.
You know what night it is.
What kind of night is that?
I feel like it's Friday night.
Oh. That's a bad jam right there, Buckethead. I don't understand. They think this is an average talk show.
I can't wait till we get to the real Friday night football. But hey, we got a lot of stuff between now and then.
That's right.
I mean, we got a lot. I just want to give you a little touch of what Buckethead and the King's all about. You seen them lose. Sit back down now. Don't
be calling.
We
ain't signing no autographs right now.
No, not right now.
Hold up.
But no, it's a great show. We got a new thing this week we're going to talk about. I mean, really and truthfully, we might as well just go ahead and find that and get that up there because I want to talk about this new thing that Buckethead and the King's doing. And because we talk about it all the time.
Right.
But now we actually doing it.
Right.
Each week, we're going to have a throwback player of the week. Throwback. Now, look.
I mean, you got to have some category. You got to be able to be in certain things that you can be in now.
Got to have ink.
That is.
You got to have ink now.
You ain't got ink. Don't think we're going to bring you on.
No. Huh? No. But look right there on the screen. Y'all can see it as well as Buckethead and the King can. That's two throwbacks. I mean,
bad boys right there.
I don't even know. I don't want to call no name who they is.
What? Why not?
But them some bad boys on the screen.
Ooh,
I mean, that is our throwback player of the week. That's a new category we got going on. It's old school. You can see it. And high school primetime Buggy and the King, real ballers will be on this throwback.
That come out of the Anderson Star. If we didn't make that up,
no,
they can go and find that themselves.
Now, you get real close to the screen, you'll be reading a lot about Buggy and the King on that.
That's that ink.
Yeah.
And now listen, I want you to tell me now, and break that down. I see that 88 right there. What you was getting ready to do? I know you got something to tell me.
Go Big Red was already firing up when I hit the 50-yard line right
you
there.
Going?
Go Big Red.
The band started playing.
Go Big Red.
Can you tell
Go
me?
Big Red.
Who y'all playing at that time right there?
That game was Piedmont. And actually, I'm telling a little story. I was giving it to him. That was an interception that I took about 50 yards. That was on the right side of the field. I cut back across the left side of the field. Getting it right before halftime. Charles Dudley, he sure enough took it straight from, picked his pocket and took it down the field. Now, I couldn't run away from Charles. You know how fast Charles was. But when I broke it back across the field, it sort of messed him up a little bit. So I got away from him a little bit and got down. I got down about the 20-yard line.
He wasn't expecting you.
No, he wasn't expecting. When I took, you see, I'm about to make that cut right there. You can see it.
That's sweetness. But look, you know that number 10, and you see how that number 10 toting that bread.
Toting the bread.
That was against Jacksonville. This is the funniest thing. That was against Jacksonville High School. I was gone. It's a big boy. If you can see the whole thing, it was a big boy reaching out at me. I let him lay on the ground for a good 2 minutes because he couldn't do nothing. And the baseball was against Jacksonville too, turning that double play. How about that?
The baseball was against Alexander, and actually, what's cut out of that picture is it was a big wide pitcher. Kevin Blue is sliding into the base to get back into the base. I don't know if he'll save it because I don't see his hand. I see the ball. I don't know if I slapped him with it. You know how you slap folks hard.
You got to know how to do that.
Me and Kevin back in the day, when we was in high school,
rivalry
was bad. I mean, but you respect rivalry like that. That's what I'm always talking about.
Rivalry.
Athletes respect each other.
End up being your roommate in college.
Yes, I mean, me and him, and when we got to college, we loved each other.
Yeah, but high school.
And the dude was legit in college. He went from this level to this level in college.
He was legit when he come out playing against Austin.
The dude was legit.
He was a legit guy.
I always say, if you go out to Alexandria, there's a couple people I can say built that house.
Yeah.
Kevin Blue put a lot of bricks in that house out there. Tony Young put a lot of bricks in that house out there.
Eric
Thomas put a lot of bricks in that house out there. Yeah. And we can what's his? I can't think of the young Matt Campbell. Yeah. Put a lot of bricks in the house. Now, I know we're leaving some old schools out, but that's what this throwback player of the week's all about. We ain't leaving nobody out. We ain't leaving no stone unturned. We flipping them all over and gonna find out who it is. But I'm gonna save for tonight because we got our throwback player of the week coming in live in studio tonight.
How about that
So I'm going to save that for a little while. But that is going to be a new topic we're going to talk about each week. You know, Bughead and the King can talk about old school football, baseball, basketball players.
And don't forget, you're going to always see that right there.
I don't want to leave softball out.
You're going to see that. I didn't play softball, but you're going to see that up there.
Today, if you feel like a woman, you can play softball.
I'm not going down that hole with you. You're going to get something started. I ain't play softball, but we can talk about it. Yeah. But I ain't play softball
either.
Yeah, I know you. The church league always recruit.
Yeah.
I asked.
Well, look, the thing about it was when I was a young man, I did play a little softball, but it was in between playing out here with your granddaddy in your granddaddy league because all the good baseball players around here played in the league.
Right.
And so people don't in the semi-pro league.
That's right.
People don't realize that. The ones that didn't, even if you went off when you came back,
you're gonna play at the
you played in the league because everybody played in the league. It wasn't. That's a great going over. Even if you were just watching, and that's how I got started. Was people saying come to the game.
Yeah.
Then next thing you know they're gonna pull Buckhead out there. So I mean, but I loved watching it.
Listen, and just for I'm trying to put something together right now in honor of both of my grandfathers, because both of them had semi-pro teams. Trying to do a banquet with the teams that was back that helped that Negro League baseball league together. The Talladega Pirates, Alpine, Jones Hill Royals, Hobson City Tigers, Easter Bogle, Silver Run. You got teams that's
yeah.
all around Gaston.
Yeah.
You got teams in Turkeytown, Rome, Georgia. All the
What
teams
was the
in
name of the team in Talladega?
Talladega Pirates, Talladega Hawks.
The one down in
Alpine.
Yeah.
Cal Mother.
Yeah.
You know, you got a lot of teams.
And look, if you live back in that day, everybody knows what we talking about.
Yes.
But these young bucks,
they don't understand.
They don't understand. And I wish we could give these young bucks the same thing that we had back then, because all it takes is a little time to play. That's all it does.
Well, I see that they trying to get something started like that over here at Chocolaca Park when they putting in that little summer league ball. It's like minor league ball, but I'm telling you, the competition that we saw, like Robert Duncan, Stanley McGrew, Gerald Bell, Rodney Malone.
Yeah, Rodney Malone.
Oh, come on, man.
Ray
Nard Montgomery.
Yeah. I didn't think about Ray Nard.
Man, the old ball players.
Yeah.
But then these guys that actually, Larry Bowie went to play for the San Diego Padres. He played on the team in Hop City for my granddad.
Guys,
He left.
But here's the thing, guys. You've seen ringers come in too that people brought in from other places. There was some serious ringers in them leagues.
The Bussy Boy.
Yeah, I mean,
Abbott.
You think, okay, we got this game today, and you show up.
And one fly in.
Different team.
They'll fly one in on you, boy.
But
that was all fun and games.
It was. It really was. Talk a little. I mean, we got a lot of baseball to talk about. I mean, the bad thing about it is around here we only got one baseball team standing, and that's left. Donahoe went down last week to Linden. We said that's the team that put them out last year.
Oh man.
And then Gordo, we knew it was going to be a tough. They come up to Piedmont, and that was a tough one for Piedmont. Piedmont did take it to 3 games, lost in the 3rd game, so nothing to, you get it to 3 games in the quarterfinals, you've done something,
You don't hold your head down.
No, and same way with Coach Ginter over here at Donahoe. Them guys, we knew they had a good baseball team. It wasn't like we were saying they didn't have one. Yeah. It was just going. I was pulling for them. I wanted them to, because they got done the same way this year as they did last year. But the year before that, they were on the good side of it. So it's supposed to be in their year this time. But it's crazy how that round ball and that round bat trying to square it up sometime to get you.
I seen some weird things happen, but hey, it's the game.
It's a game, and I mean that's why me and you both loved it. We played it from Little League all the way up.
That's right.
We talked about it, and we had a picture up. People been commenting on that picture about that.
They always talking about beating us.
Yeah.
And Gary Wilkerson, hold on. Look, everybody out there in TV world, let me explain something to y'all. If you see, hold on, I'm going to tell them. Listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. Whenever y'all see Gary Wilkerson post anything about beating me and Buckethead in anything, that goes from even
checkers,
bobbing for apples,
playing
red light, green light. He lying. He can't beat us in nothing. In baseball,
now, one thing he probably beat us in. That's tough to beat Buckethead in is eating. That's one thing he probably beat us in. That's tough to beat Buckethead in is eating.
When you post a picture and people start talking about, we used to beat that team. I said, man, I can't remember that. My memory ain't that bad at all.
We had people trying to jump on that fire and get that fire rolling, and people were putting it out right and left. I don't know about that now. Them bad boys right now.
One person come on now, I don't want to say his name. What? That's a bunch of thugs on that team.
Sure did.
You know, I told at one time, I said, he might be a little right there.
He might be at one time. You're right. I seen all them boys. He might be. But I will say this. He was looking for friends today. He said, remember,
he said he was
looking for friends, and he remembered the time when friends actually lifted friends up.
Instead of tearing them down.
And I told him, you know what I told him? I went in and told him, I said, okay, let's just say that Mumford Oxford tied in 85. Good friends are hard to come by. I want to keep him as a friend.
Don't do Andy. Andy, don't let him do you like that, Andy. I'm your friend. You don't need no more friends on earth. I'm your friend.
Me and Andy friends.
You don't know. No.
The Gamecock Gators, who we talking about, and we ain't into college right now. But I bet he was excited that his quarterback went 4th in the overall draft.
Yeah,
because he showed it, built him up all year.
He made a post about it.
Yeah, he built him up all year.
Andy is a sight, though. I love it. And listen, we're going to have a chance to talk about these Oxford Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I know we're gonna.
I know you can't wait.
Listen,
you can't wait. I'm trying to hold that.
I'm trying. It's busting.
Yeah, you like a yellow jacket trying to come out. It's coming out of the nest.
Busting. You know, I should have just came in here full. King
I'm glad
gear.
he didn't have the robe, the
I would have brought
and robe on tonight.
You might well know it's coming.
Listen, let's do this.
All right.
Let's take a break and we'll come right back.
Do that.
Take us to break.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
My name's Dave. I work here at Freedom Homes in Alexandria, Alabama. We're located at 6962 US Highway 431. We have a wide selection of single wide and double wide homes, as well as multiple lenders offering flexible financing. Here are a selection of the homes that we have. Sunshine Homes, Appalachia Homes, True Homes, Savannah Homes, and Mandeville Homes.
You can think of the pipes in your home like the blood vessels in your body. Aging blood vessels can become more brittle, constricted, and even blocked. Cast iron pipes age too due to a buildup of corrosion that restricts the flow. IPT technology can renew all your home's pipes, including vertical systems, restoring your home's circulatory system back to full health in the most painless and least intrusive way possible. It's angioplasty for your home.
I am a dreamer who will make a difference in this world.
I am flying to a future of great promise and change.
I am a mentor committed to helping my students transform their lives.
I'm a hard worker striving to build a better Alabama.
I am a go-getter with ambition and drive.
I am a Gadsden State Cardinal.
Watch me.
Watch me.
Watch me fly.
Welcome back to High School Prime Time, Buckethead and the King show here. As you can see, the King's got some toys already in front of him. The bad thing about it is the man that brought them in is going to want them back.
I'm going to get them back, but right now, man, he right here for the people.
That's history right there, isn't it?
Yes.
Let me tell you what's funny is we haven't given it away yet about who we're bringing on. But what we're talking about is 45 years ago from today. 45 years, and you know
that's about half of your age.
The bad thing about that is we're not far behind them. We were right on our heels.
That ain't bad.
45 years ago, but
I'm younger than you.
Just barely. I mean, you are younger than me. I'll give you that, but just barely.
Yeah.
But no. And I'm still staying out of that segment, and because I want to, when we come in to talk about that, I want to bring him in. So
Okay.
So don't get carried away with them balls.
You're gonna have to hair up, cause I'm excited, and it's that yellow jacket blood in me, and it's time.
Well, we can talk a little bit about the Yellow Jackets if you want to right now, if you want to go into that, because here's the thing. Tomorrow, over at the field, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give just a hint. There'll be something really special going on at the field tomorrow before the game, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, you can leave it at that.
I think the TV 24 Primetime News is going to, Chandler Tyree, my son, is going to head that up, and I think he's going to have some pretty special guests over there.
Well, we're going to start off tonight with our special guest. and it's going to go into tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to carry on.
It carry on.
It's going to carry on. That's greatness. But I'm so excited about them Yellow Jackets, the city of Oxford, Oxford High School. It's great thing.
And I also like it. We stay with the old school theme, playing at the Bud. Playing at the Bud this week. I mean, instead of at the Big House, which we have. The reason we're not playing at the Big House is because I think Gulf South Conference is playing and their championship. So that's the reason we're not playing there. But I like it at the Bud, and let me tell you this: that Bud will be crazy. At the Bud will be crazy tomorrow night.
It'll be packed.
Well, they've already brought bleachers in.
It's gonna be packed.
And I mean, I've been there before when it was packed, where you couldn't get down either sideline. I mean, down to either third base or first base. So
listen. I played there. I picked up rocks off that field. You probably can't find a rock nowhere on it now, and it's a little different now. But I picked rocks up and had rocks thrown at me while I was playing in the game by Gerald Cakes. You know, we'll go into that later. But I can remember and how I feel about tomorrow is the same feeling I had when my son then played for the state championship.
See, that's the thing, and we got a lot of ties with, even with the special tomorrow, a lot of ties with other state champions or people playing in state championships, which is crazy. That just tells you, we always talk about bloodlines.
Yeah,
they don't go far.
They don't go far.
Nuh-uh.
I mean, I don't want to compare people as, as like dogs and things, but let me just tell you something. If I go out here and I want a German Shepherd, I don't want a German Shepherd that's mixed with a pit bull. I want a Shepherd.
You want a Shepherd? I'm with you.
I want bloodline. That bloodline is important, But in sports, and you can go and follow. You can go and look at Ken Griffin Jr., Ken Griffin Sr.
But Bonds, Bobby and Barry. But here's the thing. You was talking about your son, and I want to get into that a little bit without you having to talk about it. But I know you will. I want them to hear it from me instead of you, so they'll believe it a little more. No, but back in that day, and this was 12. This was 2012 when they won the last baseball state championship. That team was unbelievably loaded. They had people sitting the bench that got college scholarships. They went to college. I'm not talking about pitchers. I'm talking about position players that were sitting on the bench. Not every game, but I'm saying they had so many players that everybody couldn't play.
Had to rotate. You only play 9.
Yeah, you can only play 9.
But they had to rotate. But it goes to having a coach that's a job. It takes. Listen, I probably could have took Pee Wee Herman and Little Richard and let them be head coach and assistant coach, and that team that he had right there, and just throw them out there. They would win. They can win ball games. They can win ball games, but it would take a real coach to be able to keep them head focused and grounded.
I agree with that.
And they had the right one for it.
We could have won half the games they won coaching football out there with that baseball team.
You're right.
That's how good them boys were. I'm not taking anything away from Brooks, but that's how good, because Brooks does an outstanding job.
That's why I said
that's
why I said that you could have took Pee Wee Herman and Little Richard, let them coach that team. They would have won games, but you had to have a coach like Brooks to ground them.
Yeah,
and
I
keep
agree.
the head right.
Especially when you got that many good kids.
Yes, sir. Because
you
got attitude.
A lot of egos and attitudes.
Wow.
You got to keep them grounded because everybody's better than the other one.
Could you see Little Richard over there telling them to shut up?
That's
Stop
right.
that.
He would say that.
Brooks wasn't nowhere like
Brooks
that.
didn't talk like that.
He's going to keep them right. So,
but that's one series that, I mean, honestly, it would have been a letdown if that group wouldn't have won it. That's how good they were.
That was good.
Now, there's other teams that's played in the finals that it was a struggle to get there. I honestly, the 9 team, the 2008 team, 9 team, 2009 team got down and played Auburn, lost both of them, but hey, that's okay.
Oh, no.
And that team was really, really good too, and had to overcome some big obstacles to get there. And that 45-year-old team did the same thing.
Yeah.
But
that team, you can take that team we're getting ready to talk about, and just say, you didn't have all-stars, you had ball players. And one thing when I say you have ball players, I'm talking about you can go in there and say, I'll take that 9. I'll take that 9 any day. And then when he got on the bench over there, bring them with me, and I take that any day over a team full of stars. Put it like that.
I was talking to Don Skinner, and everybody knows he was a part of that program. He was a pitcher and part of that team, and old Junk Ball. He was the original Gerald Bell of at that time. I mean, he was a junk pitcher, and they tried to keep people off guard with his junk. Keep them out in front of the ball, especially if you have to plate. It's hard to stay back if people throwing junk like that. But I was talking to him today, and we were talking a little bit about that team, because, 45 years ago, it just ain't fresh. Unless you was on that team or around that team, it's not really fresh in your head. But I can promise you the guys that played on that team, it's like yesterday. And but he was telling me about a couple things and just talking about how close that them guys still are today. And I said, that's why y'all were so good then. Because people don't understand to win, it's a family, man, and everybody's got to care about each other. You can't care about yourself more than a team. We always say there's no I in team, but it's so hard to understand that point. And
true athletes do. Listen, truly, if I grew up playing Little League ball with you all the way up, and I know I can depend on you, you're not gonna quit on me, and you know I'm not gonna quit on you. That's that chemistry.
Well, that's the one thing I've always said about people. As a coach, I've always said I'll take the guy that works his work ethic's unbelievable. He's a really good teammate. He's not that guy beating his chest saying, look at me. I'll take that guy over that guy any day of the week because I know we're going to be able to put something on the field with him.
He's going to give me his all. He'll give me his all.
Well, look, let's take a quick break, and let's line up our special guest. And let me just throw this on there before we go to break. And go ahead and get this, well, we already did it. I'm not going to put it back on there. We're already talking about Throwback Player of the Week. I'm going to leave it alone. Let's go to break. Well, he's got it up now. So let's just leave it alone, and we'll go back. And when we get back from break, the Throwback Player of the Week will be sitting right here in between us.
All right, let's do that.
Hello everyone, Tony Russell, General Manager of Sonny King Ford. And boy, do we have unbelievable markdown on used cars that you do not want to miss. It's time to make the best deal on a used car. Shop our wide selection of used trucks and premium pre-owned models. Don't wait another day. Come by and see me, Tony Russell, and let's make a custom deal for you. Find great savings on pre-owned used cars at Sonny King Ford on the sunny side of the street, Anniston, Oxford.
The weather is warming up and spring is just around the corner at Miller Sand and Landscape Supply. I'm Craig Miller, and we've got something for everyone. From bulk materials like sand, gravel, and mulch to beautiful outdoor decor to make your outdoor living space the envy of the neighborhood. See our beautiful selection of Mazzarelli fountains, flowers to brighten your garden, and an outdoor center loaded with beautiful decor. Whether you need a little or a lot, visit Miller Sand and Landscape Supply.
Make your vehicle happy and clean at Ollie's Car Wash. Our no-touch drive-thru can guarantee no scratches and keep your vehicle looking great. Try out our Hog's Hair brushes for that soft touch to your car's exterior and the best soap in the area. Ollie's Car Wash, just off Highway 431 in Sac. And don't forget about our Pelham Road location in Jacksonville. Ollie's Car Wash. Make your car happy.
The Alabama Bass Trail will be live from Pickwick Lake. And WOTM will be there with 4 hours of live on-the-water coverage starting at sunrise. Stay with WOTM from the first cast through the last bass being weighed and the anglers paid, with a guaranteed $10,000 first place payout. Tune in to WOTM on Sundays at 3:30 p.m. The Alabama Bass Trails Tournament Series on WOTM is presented by Phoenix Boats.
Hi, I'm Dale LeVay, the owner of the Lock Kingdom, and I wanted to invite you guys out to the I Am Not My Hair 4th Annual Hair Show, hosted by Patrice Lovely, formerly known as Hattie from the Tyler Perry series, co-hosted by Patrick Washington as Mr. Otis, celebrity guest Victoria Hilton from Serving the Hamptons on Discovery Plus. Make sure you join us June 4th, Sunday at 3 p.m. Tickets are on Eventbrite.
Really, truly, I'll tell you this when I get into it. That was the only.
Welcome back to High School Prime Time. Buckethead and the King here with our guest and throwback player of the week, Mike Tex Carter. I guess everybody knows you by Tex now, but it's Mike Carter, how we knew him back in school. And he was a member of the 78 team that went to the finals. And I'm going to throw this out there just so you can before we even get any further. They're playing Coleman this week, which is crazy. Y'all played Coleman to get to the finals. The man sitting beside me went legendary. His name went legendary in this part of the world when he touched home plate to make it 7-6. Game winner. He was the guy that scored the game-winning score.
I didn't even remember that.
You got a base hit. Well, you hit up the middle. It was a fielder's choice. I'm gonna tell you, it was a fielder's choice. The guy that was batting in front of you got out at second. Next pitch, you stole second.
Yep.
They flew out. Remember that. They flew out. Next batter flew out to the outfield. You couldn't tag. It was too short. Mike Simpson comes up, drives one in the gap in the outfield. You score from second, win the ball game.
Did not even remember that.
That is. But let me tell you something. We went looked this up. When we done that, we made sure that we got it down. And when you come on the stage with Buckethead and the King, you got to have the ink. You got ink. And we got it up there.
There it is.
I already
right
know.
there.
That's your ink.
Take a look. That's a couple of clippings from there, but I mean, and I'm glad I got to tell you that, Mike. That since you forgot about that, and I know we talked about no eyes in team, but doggone it, the man sitting beside us is the guy that got the first Oxford team to the state finals, and I'm not saying it was all him, but he stole second.
Yeah.
A base hit by young Mike Simpson. He was a freshman then.
Yep, he was.
Drove the ball up the middle, in the gap. Tex scores from second to take the lead. I don't know if that was the top or bottom. I don't know, where did we play at here?
We were here.
That was a walk-off then, because that was in the bottom of the seventh.
You know, I really don't remember that. I remember having a great series. I brought you guys a game ball that I got from that game.
That's so crazy.
But I didn't remember scoring the winning run. I really didn't.
You did, unless somebody lied in the paper.
No, they probably didn't. I remember celebrating a whole lot with these guys. I do remember that.
But we're glad to have you. You are a throwback. And listen, let me just tell you a little bit about him, about Mike. Mike not only was a baseball player, he was a good football player. Linebacker, tight end, number 44 for the Yellow Jackets. Y'all had some decent teams then in football too. We know Anniston was pretty tough.
I would say our football team was the best team in the state of Alabama that year that didn't go to the playoffs, because back then only one team went.
Well, if you think about it, that year was it the year that Welborn went to play Andalusia and got beat 7-6 in the finals, and or 7-0. 7-0. And Welborn had a really good team, but barely beat these guys in that.
Oh, they beat us pretty good. They beat us 35-0.
That's a pretty good guy on that team now.
But if we had been playing in the playoffs, I think that football team would have gone deep in the playoffs and probably lost again to Welborn.
Welborn was that good.
They were that good. They were
really good.
At that time, Anniston and Welborn and Oxford, you were just packed house games.
Oh yeah, that's what I hate for these kids today. They don't understand how it was back in the day when these guys were playing. I'm gonna date Mike a little bit. When these guys
45
were
years
playing,
ago.
I was a younger guy standing on the sidelines begging for tearaways from the guys that had the tearaways on, because they'd always tear them off and throw them out to the kids on the sideline.
I remember growing up, and they would throw us their chin straps.
That's awesome.
They would throw us their chin straps.
That's awesome. So
you
grow up wanting to be a Yellow Jacket.
You,
I mean, that's pretty cool.
That's right.
Pretty cool. But I'm gonna reason we brought him on here, and I'll go ahead and spill the beans now. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock before the game, they're gonna have an hour-long special of all these guys. Well, a lot of you guys, about 7 or 8 of you, and the coaches. are going to just talk about this game, about this team, not the game, but the team and that season. And I know you got some on it right now. So
I think we've got about 10 or 12 guys that are going to be there tomorrow.
That's almost the whole team.
I don't know if all of them will be there before the game starts, so I don't know if y'all will get all of them on camera, but a
Well,
lot of them are coming.
in your yearbook, and
awesome.
you can see the picture that we have in your yearbook, which is your yearbook picture. You're missing a couple ball players. Rodney Edwards is not in it.
Nope.
Brian Stovall.
Brian didn't play.
Oh, he didn't play that year?
Play.
Brian didn't play. So
again, that was one of the things I was going to talk about this team.
Okay.
I grew up, like all the rest of I think you did too. Most of us grew up in that area, played ball out at Oxford Lake.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
And we learned a lot from those guys.
Yeah.
From the time that we played at Oxford Lake, there were, I could probably name you 15 or 20 guys that probably should have been playing on that 78 team with us. They were that good of baseball players, but for some reason they had to work. They had something come up that they didn't get to play baseball with us. Brian Stovall is one of them. Brian Stovall would have been a great baseball player for us. Rodney was on the team. Rodney broke his collarbone in spring baseball that year and didn't get to play with. One of our best pitchers didn't even play that year.
But there's a story, and we're going to talk about it tomorrow.
You sure he broke it in baseball? He probably jumped out of the tree.
No, he broke it in football, spring football.
Spring football.
I'm talking about Rodney. Rodney. We're talking about Rodney.
Let me tell you the story.
Anything. He'll do anything. He might have been out there playing in the swimming pool.
I was talking to Coach Mann last night out at the ball field, out at Oxford Lake. We were just talking about Oxford Lake. Hey, we got grandkids out there, so we were out there watching the grandkids. And we got talking about why Edwards wasn't in that picture. Edwards shows up for that picture, and you may remember this once I say this, with some sunglasses on.
See that?
Oh, I don't remember that. But
and he tried to tell, Coach got mad at him because he had them glasses on. He was actually going to try to take a picture in his sunglasses and told him, you were not taking the picture. And Edwards tried to tell him that they were prescription glasses, and they were the new prescription glasses. It's a new state of the art. Got dark when it got sunlight and lightened up.
He going
and
there.
I said, Rodney, I'm talking to Rodney now because I called. I said, Rodney, you never had any prescription glasses, so Coach is not gonna believe that. But that was the story. That's one of the reasons. That's the reason Coach Mann confirmed. That's the reason Rodney did not take his picture with the team.
I did not know that story. I know a lot of stories about that group, but I did not know that one.
So that's all I know. I'm gonna give it to you and let you talk about it now.
That was great. I mean, look, this was a great bunch of guys. It all started with Charlie Maniscalco.
Yeah.
Oh well, just about everybody knows who Coach Mann is.
Yes.
He was our B team football coach when I was in the 10th grade. He had first moved to Oxford, and I wasn't even going to play baseball. I had played baseball out at the lake. I had played Babe Ruth baseball, and was not even going to play high school baseball because I didn't feel like putting a whole lot of time. You know how much time these guys have put in. I didn't feel like putting a whole lot of time into something that I didn't believe in the guy who was coaching at the time. Well, Jim Brown, one of my best friends, came to me and said, they're giving the baseball team to Charlie our senior year. This was our junior year. He said, you better come out. If you want to play for Charlie, you need to come out now. Because if you wait to come out your senior year, they may not let you play. They may not let you make the team for just 1 year of eligibility. So I did. I came out. I played 1 year under the old coach. Coach Mann was the assistant under him at the time. I know that had to hurt him. But we
I'm
got.
not gonna call any names, but I know who you're talking about.
Me either. But we got Charlie to coach the team my senior year, and gosh, we were picked to fix. I told y'all this earlier on in break. We were picked to finish 3rd or 4th in this area, and this area was tough. But he got us to win the area, and he led us to the state championship game. And of course, we lost that game, and I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that series, but we had a really great team. We weren't like this new team, the 2023 team. We didn't club a whole lot of people. We beat a whole bunch of people in close games. Saxe, Alexandria, Jacksonville, Welborn, all great baseball teams at that time. Larry Ginn was coaching Saxe at the time. I mean, coaching Alexandria at the time. And you know Larry Ginn he wasn't just a basketball or football coach.
He coached everything.
Yeah, he was a great coach. We beat Alexandria. You played every area team twice. We beat Alexandria by 1 run both games.
Your record was 17-4?
I think it's 19 to 4.
19 to 4.
19 to 4.
Yeah, 19 to 4. What the record was?
We beat Jacksonville 7 to 4 and then 10 to 1. We beat Welborn by 3 runs the first time, only 1 run the second time in the last area counter. And we beat Sachs 10 to nothing in game 1 here. We lost to Sachs 3 to 2 at Sachs, our only area loss. And we only lost 1 other game that year during the regular season.
Yeah, y'all lost 2 games during the regular season. I can tell you which
We lost to Gadsden 5 to 4.
That's right.
And I'll tell you why we lost to Gadsden. I'm not going to name names again, but I'll tell you, we had 2 starters who were disqualified from the game because they had broke team rules. So they were set on the bench.
Tomorrow we're gonna talk about that.
Listen. We're gonna talk about something right now. I want you to know, and this is good for the kids out there to know. If you got a coach like Coach Man, that winning and all that, you're gonna be disciplined. And if you're gonna be on his team, it's gonna be yes or no. So you're gonna do what he asks you to do. Oh, you're not going. You're going to be sitting at home, and just like you just said, 2 of them, they could have made a difference if they've been there, and then broke team rules. See, you don't hear about that kind of stuff until you get to college. Now you don't hardly hear it by high school. But
he was the kind of coach that we had discipline. There's no doubt. He put his thumb down and told you what to do and when to do it and where to do it. At the same time, he would also, after we had worked our tails off all day. Charlie was still a young guy when we were there. He would sort of challenge us sometimes, and he would let Randy Bussey and Billy Birchfield get on the mound and try to throw the ball by him.
Now, Billy was pretty good.
No.
No.
I'm gonna tell you, and it's tickling me, and I know you got me by some years, but I still have that same Yellow Jacket bloodline just like you got, but. I was coached by the same man, Coach Man. It's a difference. You see how you say Charlie? I have to say Coach Man.
Right.
I'll tell you the story.
Well, we did too, but now I don't.
But look, listen. But the reason why I say that is I got to give you the story because my 9th grade year, I made varsity on the baseball team.
Gotcha.
He was my 9th grade basketball coach, and I was in the gym one day when I was coming down. You know how the old gym is? You come down the steps and get ready to go down to the locker room. And I was fascinated with saying, man of Sky Cole, man of Sky Cole. Just kept saying it, and I was walking down there, and boy, as soon as I hit that bottom step, he was standing down there around the corner, waiting on me to get down to the bottom. And when I said, man of Sky Cole, I was looking dead at him. He like, come on in here, Mason. That Joe gave me 3 licks, I ain't gonna ever forget it. And from that point on, he told me, you gonna call me Coach Man or Coach Man of Sky Cole? It's Coach Man. Right today, he see me out in the public. How you doing, Coach Man? I'm telling you right now, I call him Coach Man because them 3 licks he gave me in school.
I got you.
Buckethead wouldn't understand that.
Sure he would.
Why would you say that? I do.
You didn't get that. Why you should have been able to get them 3 licks.
Let me say this. You talking about in the Gadsden game? I think you pitched, or you came in and.
I think I did pitch an inning in the Gadsden game.
In the Gadsden game.
I think I did because we were
I
down
did a lot of studying, so
oh my gosh.
I think you did.
I don't think that I did real well, so let's don't talk about it.
Well, I mean, I think the game was already
decided
before you took the mound.
Yeah,
let's just leave it at
probably
that.
So.
You one of them pitchers come in. We need to make sure we say that pitcher for the next game.
I was not a pitcher, Gary. I was an outfielder.
A good one.
Yeah.
Now I could throw the ball fast.
Yeah.
But when I got on the mound, I was a hitter's pitcher because I threw the ball straight down the plate.
Somebody is gonna get
ready to clobber it.
Buckethead had the same kind of pitch.
But our team, after the regular season, we went and we played Guntersville in round 1 of the playoffs. This is what was different. Again, we'd already talked about this briefly. Only one team from the area went to the playoffs. So you had a whole bunch of kids that didn't get to go, didn't get to play.
Didn't y'all wind up in a tie but clinched it?
No.
In a tie? So y'all won it outright.
We won it outright.
Y'all won the region outright,
After
our area outright.
Us beating Welborn 3-2 in the last area game made us the champs.
Awesome.
And we go on, we play round 1, we play at home against Guntersville. We beat them 4-1. Round 2, we went to Fultondale in Birmingham. We beat them 5-3. Now, here's the other difference. These kids now, Oxford's already played 3 rounds. Yeah. our third round was the semifinals. So we played Coleman here on Bud McCarty in round 3. We beat them 5-1 in game 1, and then we beat them 7-6 in game 2.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Back in the day, and I don't know if it was that way when you came through, but it was when I came through. It was still first 2 rounds were one game.
One
so
game.
if you went up against a dominant pitcher, it was tough to get around that one pitcher.
My first round, and this was your teammate that was coaching me my senior year.
Randy Butts.
Randy Butts. And we end up going over here, I think it's Pleasant Valley over in Birmingham. And I can remember my granddad, Noble Mason, and Mr. Higgins, and all of them was standing up at the fence, and Coach Randy Butts was over there. And dude hit a ball to me at second base, and it was a guy at second. And when that ball got hit to me, the second base took a bad hop, but it hit. I blocked it, hit me in the chest. And that guy on second went around third, was going home on me. And I got that ball, and I chunked it home the center to my catcher, and he stopped midway because I had him out right there. They got him in a rundown from between pitchers. It's 2 outs now.
Right.
Between third and the catcher right there, home plate. And that guy, you know how they teach you, you got to go, you go up here and you're going to fill in.
Keep
right,
circling.
yep.
All right, you're going to go in. That guy dang near ran into their dugout to get around the catcher.
And scored?
And listen, and dived and touched home plate, and they called him safe.
Man.
Out the baseline. Randy Butts, it took Coach, it took my granddad, it took Mr. Higgins, and who else?
It took some more than that.
It took 2 or 3 of them to get him off the field.
I bet.
He went, I mean, it hurt. It put us out first round.
I'd say that's how tough it was back in the day. You run into, I always said, we run into a good pitcher, you're in trouble in the first 2 rounds because they can throw one dominant pitcher and shut you down and not have to play a series.
Right.
But after that, you had to play a series. But look, they're calling for a break. A little fat man in my ear is calling for a break. Let's take it, and we'll be right back.
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
Hey, my name's Dave. I work here at Freedom Homes in Alexandria, Alabama. We're located at 6962 US Highway 431. We have a wide selection of single-wide and double-wide homes, as well as multiple lenders offering flexible financing. Here are a selection of the homes that we have. Sunshine Homes, Appalachia Homes, True Homes, Savannah Homes, and Mandeville Homes.
You can think of the pipes in your home like the blood vessels in your body. Aging blood vessels can become more brittle, constricted, and even blocked. Cast iron pipes age too due to a buildup of corrosion that restricts the flow. IPT technology can renew all your home's pipes, including vertical systems, restoring your home's circulatory system back to full health in the most painless and least intrusive way possible. It's angioplasty for your home.
I am a dreamer who will make a difference in this world.
I'm flying to a future of great promise and change.
I am a mentor committed to helping my students transform their lives.
I'm a hard worker striving to build a better Alabama.
I am a go-getter with ambition and drive.
I am a Gadsden State Cardinal.
Watch me.
Watch me.
Watch me fly.
Welcome back to High School Primetime. Can we go back to the graphic I had up? I want to go back to it, and the reason I want to go back to it, I'm just going to read you what Coach. This is what Coach Mann said about Mike. This is back in the day. All this is back in the day. It said Mike Carter, senior, starts at left field and is hitting 282. This was when, I don't know when this article was, but you hitting 282. That's pretty good, Mike. And it says he's not a real flashy, but he's a heck of a kid and a sound player, said Maniscalco. He covers a lot of ground and has good speed. He doesn't have what you would call a perfect swing, but he knows how to get the bat on the ball. That's your coach saying that about you back in the day. So that's pretty good stuff. I like that. I mean, if you're going to have a coach talking about you, you want it to be good stuff like that.
I was going to tell you, I didn't remember scoring the winning run against Coleman. I do have a lot of things that I do remember about that season. One of them that I remember, we played about 3/4 of the way through the season. We played Emma Sanson at Bud McCarty.
Beat them 4-2, I think, didn't he? Something like that.
Emma Sanson was ranked #1 in the state in 4A. We were ranked #1 in the state in 3A at the time of that game. The one play that I do remember making, and I've told some officials this story when I talked to some officials one time, and I can't tell you that I made this catch. Emma Sanson had bases loaded, nobody out.
Was it here?
It was here. Guy hits a line drive between me and Rich Huff. I take off running. I dive, do a somersault, come up with the ball. I don't know if I short hopped it. I don't know if I caught it. I can't tell you. What I can tell you is the umpire said this.
Yeah.
I throw the ball to second base to Jim Brown, my buddy. He throws it to first. We got a triple play because they were running.
And he wasn't changing it, was he?
He wasn't changing
no.
it. And that play I definitely remember from my year.
That's a big play, though, because think about that. You just said it was a triple play. They were running. Ball gets under you. It's tie ball game.
We're beat.
Well, at least a tie ball game because you beat them by 2.
Yeah.
So at least 2's going to score.
Right.
So that's a big thing. And let me tell you, you played left field.
Yep.
So left field is at Oxford at the Bud. Right field guy could lean up against the fence and camp out.
Woo.
The left field guy had a lot of room to cover. Him and center field had to like each other a lot.
And I had Rich Huff in center field, and he was fast.
Yeah.
Rich was quick. It was very good. We had 4 seniors on that team. Jim Brown, my buddy at second base, Jeff Hazel, our catcher, who's no longer with us, Rich Huff in center field, and then me in left field.
Can I stop you? Can you go back to the thing? I want to see Jonas read something that, can you go to my screen? I want to read this is what Coach Mann said about you seniors. He said, Maniscalco singled out seniors Rick Huff, Jeff Hand, Mike Carter, and Jim Brown for their leadership on the road to the area championship. Oxford is now 10-1. That's when y'all won the championship, made it 10-1. And that's Coach talking about senior leadership. He just named the seniors. That's why I wanted to bring this in. We've always talked about seniors having to step up. Sometimes younger guys do it, and that's okay. But y'all had some unbelievable senior leadership, and that is from your coach. That's not me saying it, not anybody saying it. That's your coach talking about his team.
And we had some great underclassmen, too. Now, we had some good leadership on the seniors. We played good. We also were great at uplifting the younger guys, but we had some great younger guys. Randall Cofield was on that team. Don Skinner that you mentioned, great pitcher. Wayne Yates.
I talked to Wayne today.
Wayne did a good job. Rory Andrews was on that team. Billy Birchfield went on to play major baseball.
One of the best players from this area ever.
Randy Bussey was on that team.
Yeah.
Mike Simpson, Jay Stevens. Man, what a pitcher. Mitch Key was on that team. Jeff Fingers, Mike Livingston, and Mark Knighton. And then, of course, we talked about Rodney Edwards. Rodney had the broke collarbone and didn't get to play with us. There's another great pitcher that we didn't have.
Did he ever get to play any of that year?
If he played, it would have been in the late
games.
I don't really remember that.
I
would have to ask Rodney.
Well, I think honestly, some of the newspaper articles had Coach Mann talking about late in the season, which would have been in the playoffs, using Rodney.
He may have pitched
and using Rodney and Bussey and Don.
I know Bussey started our series against UMS Wright, and it wouldn't have mattered who started. Those guys were Trojans. I mean, they hit the ball, except for Don Skinner shut them down.
He did.
Don Skinner.
He had
that
I think
jump.
the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 7th inning he struck out. I mean, he didn't give up a run. It was all.
But but again, they were studs. They had. This is another one of those plays that didn't involve me, but I remember it vividly. Jeff Hazel was on second base, playing off second base, and in between pitches, the catcher never got up from his squat and threw it over the pitcher's head and threw Jeff out playing off at second base.
How that Coach Mann came apart, didn't he?
That's something. That's an ultimate scene. You never let a catcher throw you out.
How that Coach Mann came apart on that.
Playing off.
But we had great players in the underclassmen. These seniors were really, my buddies were really good, and I had a good relationship with most of these guys too. I played when I was 12 at Oxford Lake. I played on Sid Simpson's team, Mike's dad. Mike was one of the 9-year-olds or 10-year-old, 11, 12. Randy Bussey and Billy Birchfield were both on that team as well. So
everything
I had relationships with these guys already.
Those guys, like you saying, that come out at Oxford Lake League, and I used to go down there and watch them Bussey boys down there in the hole.
Oh yeah.
And I'm seeing them hitting home runs left and right. That's a baseball family, but that's what's key about Little League programs. He went from Oxford Lake all the way to
Well,
the
see,
high
I
school
remember
level.
as a younger guy than them. I'm just not much younger, but being down playing in the little leagues and coming up and watching y'all play in the big leagues and just be like,
we sure did.
Seeing
be
Beirut Field
oh my
turned the other way.
goodness, yeah, it was turned the other way, and I used to be just loved what. I mean, kids today don't do that. They don't go. I mean, they don't see that now. It's like, I guess because every family's so busy they run home, but I loved it back then.
And I've already said Rodney didn't get to play with us much that year, but Rodney was also a really good friend of mine. We spent time at each other's houses all the time. Jeff Vengers was my neighbor. Jeff Venger, and him and Jay Stevens were big buddies. So we were playing basketball in his backyard, baseball in my backyard together. So all these kids I had relationships with.
See, Jeff is your age, Scott and Mark is my age.
Yep.
So I mean that's why I played with him the same way he did. So I mean people don't know it, but I actually wrote a song a long time ago and took it to Tex and brought a guy in and started singing. He said, "You Canada Adamses?" And I said, "I sure am." And he said, "Well, that song," I said, "'cause I wrote about Kentucky. I don't know if you remember that."
I do remember that.
And he said, "I used to go hunting with him all the time." And me and Tex crossed paths a lot back in the younger days.
Spent a lot of time with Adams crew up there. Deer hunting and turkey hunting and all kind of hunting.
But I didn't know I didn't know you wrote a song.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I wouldn't. Get off of that. What are you talking baseball? Go to my screen.
He knew I was going to set him up.
Go to my
boy.
screen.
He knew I was going to set him up.
This picture right here is, I don't know for a fact, but I'm thinking this is the winning run in the winning run you scored. That's you.
I really don't know.
That is you.
That can't be. Look how that's
No,
a scroll
that's
from a
him.
home run right there.
No,
he don't hit a home run.
He knows. They already said stand up. They already tell him to stand up. So I don't know if it is or not, but that is you. And I don't know if that's the winning run, but he's coming to the plate right there. So I can tell you that picture meant a lot. That's why I put it in there.
Hold that picture.
Because of that.
Hold that picture.
Okay.
You see that uniform he got on right there? Now, what year was this?
That was 78, and that
That's
was
78.
the only uniform we had.
That's the only uniform. You heard what he said. That same uniform, you got to go find my picture. That same uniform.
You wore.
In 88, I had that same
Well, I was
uniform.
only 10 years old.
One uniform. That's it. Now they got
number,
about
that's
they got
number
about
12
3 or
right
4.
there. You didn't wear number 12.
I
That
wore
was
number 3.
12 right
I
there.
wore number 3. But
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's the same uniform. Those are the same uniforms.
We didn't have a big high school baseball budget at Oxford back then.
Nobody did. You dumped that duffel bag you turned over with the bat.
I promise you the same
I
uniform.
think I heard Charlie tell when he talked to that 2012 team prior to the season, I think I heard him tell them that we had 3 bats and 4 dozen baseballs for the year.
But that's the
Charlie the truth.
Now listen, we had 6 bats. Gerald Cates threw 4 of them out the bus coming from Heflin on I-20 before we got back to Oxford. Because Heflin beat us over there, and they shouldn't have beat us. Gerald Cates threw the bats out the window. And by the time we got to Oxford, we didn't have but 3 bats left. And Coach asked me, how you do it? We ain't got no hits in them bats.
And I will tell you how long ago it was that I played. Birchfield and Bussey and them batted with aluminum bats. I batted with a Pete Rose 33.
That's sweet.
A
right there.
wooden
That
bat.
is sweet right there
Yes.
now. That's
In high
awesome.
school.
In high school.
That's awesome right
How
there. I
about
remember
that?
when
Now, I wish you still had that bat.
Hey, I remember when
Me too.
Coca-Cola. Yeah, I wish you still had that bat too. But I remember when Coca-Cola used to give us wooden bats for Little League. You remember that?
Oh yes,
They
definitely.
used to give us wooden bats for Little League. But
Oh,
I mean,
man, that's good
this
stuff.
is
That's
awesome,
good
guys.
stuff.
If you're
That's
not
good
if you're not liking this, turn us off right now. Turn us off. Don't even watch us. Go ahead.
But I love us talking about this team. They're a bunch of good guys, but this team, the 2023 team, I'm gonna tell you, I have seen. I've had the pleasure to see them play a few times. I actually called the county tournament on the radio.
That's right.
And got to see them win that. They are strong, fellas.
Buckhead told me they showed
that,
up.
That 2012 team was an extremely strong team. My cousin Randy Goodson, that's my first cousin. His son Matthew was on that team. I broadcast
son was
there.
on that team.
Your son was on that team. I broadcast the whole state playoffs there, and I had the pleasure of doing the championship games, and that team was extremely strong. I'm not sure, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to downplay anybody because this 2023 team is extremely good. I'm not sure that the two lefties are quite as strong as the combination of Simpson and Stevens from the 2000.
Well, then you had
Fraser Taylor. You had
Fraser Taylor, and you had JoJo McGuire.
Yeah,
I mean, they came in and won the state championship.
The one that
game.
went to play in Kansas City.
Oh yeah. That's the thing about it. He was so deep in pitching.
He did.
That they were really good.
I think they are deeper in pitching as far as the numbers too this year.
Yeah.
But the thing that impresses me the most about these guys is they can hit the ball.
I
mean, they can hit the ball. But what I really love about baseball, and I love about this team too, you'll remember this because I called the game in 2012 at Spain Park.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember
How was
this or
that
not.
game?
Well, Tucker's younger brother, Trent, he had been in a drought.
He come out.
And in the final game, he gets a hit that wins the game and wins the Spain Park game and sends them to the championship game. And they were down. Spain Park had come back up, and Spain Park was going to beat them in that game.
He come out and he hit one down there on the right.
It's like last week.
right
It's
to the
like
line.
last week with Oxford at Hartselle. Hartselle had that stud left-handed pitcher, Jack Smith, on the mound, and he was mowing Oxford down till the sixth inning. Sixth inning, Oxford put together some string of hits, win the ball game. Those type situations are what.
Well, what about Coach Brooks's mind of going in and saying, "Okay, we won the first one. I'm gonna throw this lefty that can't break a window pane, but keeps them out front of, and they got 7 lefties in their lineup. Hartselle had 7 lefties in their lineup, so he throws a lefty, and I'm not taking anything away from him. He just don't throw as hard as the rest of them. But he kept them out. He kept them unbalanced the whole game.
Let me tell you what I loved about that pitcher though. The Smith guy for Coleman, to me it looked like he could just throw it 90, 92 miles an hour, but he really couldn't place it. He was just throwing it. And finally Oxford started catching up with it in the 6th. The Gallagher kid for Oxford, he didn't throw hard, but he could pinpoint where he wanted to put it.
Hey,
that's a rip.
The whole game. He did it the whole game. I mean, he's the Don Skinner of.
Exactly. Left-handed Don Skinner.
Left-handed Don Skinner.
A rip. You hear me say
I
rip?
You same way. That's right. He does mine. He does the same. Yeah.
Yes.
But that's why that last week, that second game, that's all they seen was Gallagher.
Yep.
And he was lights out from the left side, facing 7 lefties, which was a brilliant move on Brooks's part.
It worked.
It worked.
Yep. And then the other thing that I did want to talk about, if y'all will let me, is the facilities.
Second to none.
But when I played at Bud McCarty, I don't know what it was like when you played, but when Randy Bussey batted there, most of right field was a double.
Yeah. On this side of the pole, on the left side of the pole, it's a home run, but on the right side of that pole,
was it still that way when y'all were? Okay, they changed that now.
They had hit one up on Walmart.
Had hit it up on Walmart to be a home run.
They've changed that now, but I mean it's all a home run.
Okay.
It didn't used to be.
They took it back a little bit.
They moved the fence back.
They moved the fence back.
Not much.
Just enough to get a home run.
Yeah.
And raised it.
But Randy Bussey would have had a lot more home runs than doubles had they been playing at Chocolock or somewhere else. But they have improved, Bud. The Bud McCarty Field is a great place.
Oh, unbelievable.
The infield, I just went today to see Coach, and the infield's amazing at Bud now. And we threw rocks too. We picked up rocks and threw them.
You know
too.
what? Though, that field was bad about flooding.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so bad about
There
flooding.
was one time, I don't think this was when we played. I think this was after we played. And it might have been when I was helping Charlie coach. But there was one time some guy brought in a helicopter.
That was in the playoffs.
In the playoffs.
It was. I remember that now. And it was
to dry the field off.
Yeah, dry the field off. Sure was. I remember that.
But listen, I have played, and I don't know how these kids get a chance. They might not be able to relate to what I'm finna say. If you want to play ball real bad, just get on that field when it's don't rain and you trying to get that game in, and you had to go out there and work on that field. We had to go and get mud and throw sand, and we had to do a whole lot just to get a game
Just
in.
to play. I remember one game, my buddy Jim Brown, that played second base for us, dove for a ball, and there was a mud puddle in there, and he came up just brown from that white uniform you saw this minute ago, just brown from head to toe because he was soaking wet from hitting in that mud.
Right.
He caught the ball though.
He caught the ball though.
Yes, sir, he did.
Wow, man.
But the facilities are just amazing.
Second
Bud
to none.
McCarty's good. Now they've got Choccolocco Park, just a great place to play, and our city leaders should be commended for doing that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Choccolocco Park is one of the best, not only in our state, but in the country. It's won national awards as a high school sport. I mean, yes, it's Choccolocco Park, but it is Oxford's home field.
Sure.
I mean,
And the thing about it, you look, last week we went to watch them play at Hartselle. Does there anybody in the state of Alabama have a better baseball tradition than Hartselle?
No.
That you know of?
No, not that I know of.
Oxford had to
And,
deal with them
and
a
it
lot.
was a great baseball facility to see, but it wasn't even close to Choccolocco Park.
No, it's not. And and the hurting part to me in Buckethead is we've been trying to get over there so we can start filming those games. I would like for folks that can't actually get to these ball games to experience and see what we talking about right here on TV.
That's another great thing, because I was talking about the catch that I made against Emma Sampson. I would have loved to have had that on video, so I could say I either caught it or didn't.
We would have replayed it. We'd have replayed it now, Tex. We'd have replayed it to figure out if you'd have caught
maybe
it
I
or
don't
not.
want it. Maybe I don't want it on video.
No, well, I mean, the thing about it is our age, we miss a lot of stuff. Kids today, they can pick up a phone and see what they did in the game yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
But because everybody's got a phone, everybody's filming. But back in the day, we searched and scrambled to find some footage of just anything we did.
Well, and the other thing, you were looking at the Anniston Star. Back then, I've got clippings. The baseball I brought was from my mom's house. She's got them. We've got clippings like crazy of when I was playing at Oxford Lake, and I'm sure you do too.
Yeah,
where they used to cover every Oxford Lake game.
Absolutely.
And it would say Mike Carter got
And when
hit.
you went to All-Stars, it really covered
big
everything.
time.
They used to put the All-Star teams in the paper.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really big time. But back in the day, they covered the games at the lake.
Yes,
I mean,
they did.
Just the regular games.
I've got lots of clippings from when I was on Sid Simpson's team when I was 10, 11, 12 at the hole in Oxford Lake of each home run I hit or base hit or whatever.
On that wall down there.
So what balls did you bring in? Is everybody's signature on that ball?
This ball, everybody who played on that team has signed this ball. All of us players got this after the UMS losses. They gave us a ball, and all the players signed. Each player got a ball, and everybody signed it.
That's pretty neat.
And it's a little faded, but it's pretty neat.
Hey, that's okay.
And again, this ball is is a ball that was actually played in that semifinal game. We played with that ball.
That's what baseball is all about. That history.
That's pretty. Hey guys, I mean, yeah. I mean, listen. If you care about anything in sports and you get your hands on something like that,
yeah,
that's pretty good. I mean, no matter if you was in that game or not, I just held 45 years of history right there in my hand. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Well, like you were talking about too, there were tons of people, just like they're going to be tomorrow pulling for Oxford. You couldn't find a space to stand at these games.
It'll be like that this week. I'm telling you. But
they showed us support, and we're going to show these guys
absolutely,
support.
Absolutely.
But what I like about what's going on now, see, they do an alumni thing in baseball, and when I got a chance to meet these guys here at the alumni, when I got a chance to speak about Coach Mann, and when I got a chance to tell people about him coaching me in the 9th grade, when basketball coach, everybody know him as a baseball coach and football, but he's serious about anything he do. And we was in Heflin and basketball, 9th grade basketball, and a referee was cheating on us, and I know it. As a 9th grader, I knew that. Coach Mann knew it. And I seen Coach Mann call that referee over there to the table, and I looked at Coach Mann, and I thought I would never, ever see this man say the things that he said to that referee. He looked at that referee and told him, after this ball game, look at me, Buckethead, because I want you to feel me now. He said, after this ball game, I want you to meet me out there in that parking lot.
You knew you was in trouble.
He telling the referee that. Meet me in that parking lot, and I'm gonna do something, you know. He told him that, and I sit there, as a young guy.
Oh, he cares.
That's
man.
the coach I want. That guy, he meant that, and I'm telling you right now, he got me then, boy.
When I was assistant coach with him, I really would rather tell the better things, but since you brought this up, I'm gonna tell this too, because I really do think this is a good thing. He was standing up for us.
Yes, he stand up for you.
When
That's
I was
right.
an assistant coach with him, we played Dessler, and I think it was the semifinals or quarterfinals or one. We were up there. It was a 2 out of 3 series, and so it must have been semifinals. And we had a runner. We had bases loaded. We had a runner bunt the ball down the first baseline, and they called interference on him. He was running outside the baseline, but the first baseman bumped him when he come trying to get the ball. He was running where he needed to be running. They called interference, called him out, got us out of the inning. Charlie got tossed. I had to end up helping coach the rest of that game.
He got tossed.
But,
you know I paid good money.
Because he was letting that guy know that guy had made a mistake.
I would have paid good money to see that, because when I left here and went to Alabama State in baseball, and when I come back home, I did a similar thing you did. I come back home, I started coaching at Oxford. And me and Coach Caldwell had the 9th grade team, and I coached Coach Mann's son, Tony. On that team.
Gotcha.
Carrie Malone and a couple more guys. And we was up in Etowah, and they was playing dirty. They was sliding into my kid, and they slid into Tony, Coach Mann's son, my second baseman. So I'm out on the field. I go and pick up Tony. He crying. This ball that dude ran. It was dirty.
Right.
So I look at the the umpire, and tell him, hey man, you got to get a control of this game, or somebody else gonna get hurt. And I got my head down, come back up. You out of here. They threw me out the game. I had to go sit on the bus.
They should have thrown you out.
2 minutes. Look, 2 minutes later. 2 minutes later, Coach Caldwell got threw out the game too.
So what did y'all do then?
Got on the bus and came on back home.
Let me tell y'all, talking about Coach Mann's kids, I coached out here at the lake, and Tony played for me. And it was a 13th and 15 league, and I think he was 15 or 14. Matthew was 12. So we went to Saks, and all the players didn't show up.
You got Matthew.
So I said, Coach, can Matthew play with me? Because he said, sure, if he wants to. So he said, just put him down the batting order and let him bat, So I actually put Matthew at second because Tony was playing short then.
Okay.
Every ball that went to him, I mean, he looked like a superstar and went like 4 for 4 at the plate. And
Tony did?
No, Matthew did. And he's 12-year-old playing in the baby. I said, Coach, can he play with me all the time?
Well, I'm going to tell you, Wes Brooks is a really great baseball coach. He's done a lot of great stuff at Oxford. I'm prejudiced. I know I am. Charlie only's coached about 6 years at Oxford. They went to the state playoffs every year he was there. He's the best baseball coach I've ever seen.
I told you, at the Oxford High alumni dinner that we gave, and we was honoring Coach Mann. I think you were there. And what I said was, Coach Mann is what Bob Bryant is to Alabama football. Coach Mann is the same for Oxford baseball. And I didn't care who didn't like it. I'm saying it because it's the truth.
Well, you can say it like that if you want to. That's a great
analysis, yeah.
And Coach Mann.
He started
and then you got Nick Saban and Wes Brooks, the comparison. Yeah. So they just carried on a tradition.
That's right.
And, man, I'm going to tell you, I mean, my kid played for Brooks. Your kid played for Brooks. Right. And funny story about Brooks, he stole my kid from me. I was coaching at Lincoln at the time.
He should have stolen
him. And my son left Oxford, went and played for me a year at Lincoln we go play Brookstown. He hits 2 bombs and pitches against him. Brooks. Next thing I know, my son's back at Oxford because Brooks got the Oxford job. So I said, that's crazy, Brooks. But I want to get into this before we take a break. We was talking about facilities.
Oh, man.
And they just came out today with an immediate release on this, and they honored several Hall of Famers in this, in the namings of these buildings. Bill Burgess and Robert Herring Indoor Practice Facility, Dr. James Lett Sports Medicine and Training Facility, and Coach Jack Grizzard. I mean, I'm gonna call him Coach.
Yep.
Jack Grizzard Team Room, and that facility right there is, and they're not finished because there's dirt in front of that building. And they got a fence up, but that's going to be second to none.
It's amazing.
We were talking about the Chocolaca Park. This right here rivals right there with it.
It really is.
They got some more stuff to put up.
Oh, really?
They got Jumbotron.
Oh, man. Now, the other thing, those two football coaches, there are none better.
Oh, no. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. And, you know, a lot of times, look, my age group, and right at my age group, a lot of Burgess boys. I don't know how to say it. There's a lot of Burgess boys, and they'll talk about Burgess, and listen, Burgess was Burgess. We all know that. But I will say this.
One of a kind.
Yes, and who wants to follow Burgess? Well, this guy comes in and follows Burgess, and what does he do? He wins 3 state championships.
I was calling Oxford football on radio when Robert Herring was here. Got to know him real well.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous coach.
Oh, the guy.
Man.
Yeah, hands down.
Listen,
hands down. He's a good guy.
I call him one of my mentors. Yeah. I mean, he knows his family knows that. I love him to death, and I hated to see him go.
Sure.
But he meant a lot to me and my family.
Hands down, let me explain something to you. I played for him. Hands down, I'm going to tell you something. Good man. You're not going to find no one that can give you a bad word about him. But then when I hear folks, they want to make this, I've seen some posting about it. He should this and that. Listen, he'll be the first one to tell you, thank you, I appreciate all of what you guys are doing. And he really was about football and kids. Putting his name up, it's honoring him. That's a blessing for his grandkids to see. But right now he's gone, but I guarantee you he'd have been saying, hey, let's make something great for kids.
Yeah.
And that's what that is.
Oh,
that's what that is right
That
there.
was in the making
Yeah.
when my son was in school in 2000, graduated in 2008. So, I mean, this was already in the plans. I'm glad to see it come to fruition for Oxford, for the community, for the kids. And Gary was talking about it. There's one thing that hadn't been put up yet, and it's a Jumbotron. It's going behind the visitor side. And I asked Coach Adams, I said, how big is it going to be? He said, the biggest in the state. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, the articles, I mean, the contract says it's got to be the biggest high school Jumbotron in the state. So we don't know how big it is yet because everybody keeps putting up bigger ones. So when we finally get it up, we'll see how big it is.
We're going to have Buckethead and the King all over it.
And I learned, y'all probably already knew this, I learned yesterday that there's an observation deck above that to watch football. Yes. You can watch the baseball game tomorrow from the observation deck if you could get us up there, Gary.
I'll call tomorrow. I'll call tomorrow.
Let's take a break. We'll come back, and with about 10 minutes in the show, we'll let Coach Mike Carter finish it up with us. How about that?
Sounds great.
Okay. Take a break. We'll be right back. Man, I got...
The Coosa Valley, on the banks of the Coosa River in Gadsden, Alabama. Fishing, boating, and paddling, and home to Team One Chevrolet. Team One Chevy has been serving generations for years. Even the grandkids are grown. Come by and see why so many people come back to Team One Chevy in Gadsden.
Home of the best people, the best service, period.
There's a special place where overtime gives way to family time, where fast pace becomes a little slower lifestyle. At Campers Unlimited, we can help get you there, where your lake house, beach house, or tailgate headquarters can have the same address. We carry the top brands in America like Grand Design and Forest River. With a large selection, we're sure to have a floor plan that fits your needs. So when you're ready to disconnect in order to reconnect, take the easy drive to Campers Unlimited on Interstate 59 in Gadsden or shop us online at campersunlimited.net.
Hello, I'm Kyla Whitmore with the Whitmore Mortgage Group, powered by Success Mortgage Partners. I am located on Highway 78 East in Oxford. We are a full-service mortgage lending branch specializing in single-family residence, condos, townhomes, up to a 4-unit property. We even do barn dominiums. We are Success Mortgage Partners, where success is what we're about, mortgages are what we do, and partners are how we treat everyone.
The Calhoun County Commission, made up of Fred Wilson, Danny Shears, Carolyn Henderson, Terry Howell, and Lee Patterson, ask you to take a look at what Calhoun County has to offer. Our beautiful parks, neighborhoods, recreational facilities, historic sites, and museums. Our citizens enjoy a high quality of life and strongly support the arts. If you're considering expanding or starting a new business, take a look at Calhoun County. You'll be glad you did.
Back to high school prime time, sitting right here with the legend Mike Carter with the 78 baseball team right here with the Yellow Jackets, and you know who's on the other side, the King. But want to give a shout out to Mike Webb, Webb Logistics. You know, like I say all the time, we couldn't do this show without him. We appreciate everything he does for the show. He's also sits on the county board of education, does a great job for them. And like me and him talked about many times, he don't just do it for one school like Welborn, where he's from, but he does it for everybody. Not even on that, he's involved in Oxford and Jacksonville and Piedmont. So, I mean, even though he's a county guy, you get the best of both worlds for this guy because he's going to do whatever he can for the schools.
He's also on our, I serve on the committee for the Law Enforcement Appreciation that's coming up next week, and he's on the board of the Law Enforcement Appreciation Committee, where we will honor officers all next week.
Oh, man,
he does that. He's everywhere.
He is. I mean, I mean, you can't say much more of that about him. But he was a police officer as well.
Yes,
so
he was an Anniston police officer.
I like him a lot. But hey, stay right there. Stay right there. I got one other thing I got to put up because I got to bring this up before we leave.
Oh my gosh!
Look at this. I was looking in the yearbook, and this guy right here. Now I'm gonna tell you something. That's very debonair, as King would say.
Listen. That plaid suit, I need one of them. But
the name at the top's what I like. Mr. Safe. He was safe at home with the winning run to send it to the championship game. Mr. Safe.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Tell us a little bit about that suit. Where'd you get that at? Was that Skyway?
If I had to guess, it would have come from Martin's. Well, I really don't know.
You know, Sky City is what I was trying to say. We bought a lot of stuff from Sky City back in the day now, but that collar, hey, that's back in style. My son right now would fight you for that jacket and collar, that collared shirt. Yeah, they'd wear it right now.
It had a lot of colors. I know we got a black and white picture, but it had a lot of colors in that jacket. And
I know, and the young lady in front of us, she was happy to be getting your picture made with you.
Missy Brandon, a great lady.
Yeah.
She was in my senior class, and
but we had to pull that up because I had to bring it up. Look at that. Listen, back in the day, I ain't going to pull my hat off because we all are losing hair.
Yeah, if I still had that hair, I'd be good.
But I'm going to tell you something. That's a good-looking young man up there, Mike. That's a good-looking young man up there.
Listen what I said. Look like, see, I can't go into who he looked like. Everybody start talking about, you know, we get in trouble when we start talking about who he looked like. But you right here with me. Look like old boy off Miami Vice there.
Don Johnson.
Don Johnson. That's it, right. Dapper Dan, baby.
Don Johnson. Look, back in the day, he had those square chin.
Yeah.
Look at him. The boy was for real back in the day. Y'all better leave Mike alone. But look at it. I'll pull this picture out. I'm putting this in your wallet, Mike. You pull it out and show him when somebody comes talking.
I did look good back then.
He was looking good back in now. I'm going to tell you.
Oh, man. Y'all had pulled out the stops.
But we do that. Our show is lighter than everybody else's. We don't script anything. We just talk because that's what we want to do, and it's bring back memories. And just like, look, I'm glad that you didn't know that you scored the winning run. I'm so glad you didn't know that. And I'll try to print you that out where you can actually see it and have it for you tomorrow.
And that was on the 7-6 game.
That was on the 7-6 championship. That was the final game.
So that explains why this baseball was given to me.
That's it. So, and here's the thing. Y'all were up 6-4, and in the sixth inning, they had two guys hit bombs, back-to-back home runs to tie the ball game. and then you guys score. Simpson drives you in to win the ball game, so that's a big deal. So I'm glad to be able to tell you that. That tickles me that he couldn't remember that.
To hear you say Simpson came up and hit that ball to bring him in, and we just talked about Simpson's son did the same.
Oh, did the same thing?
Yep. To move the Oxford to the state championship
in 2012. Sure did.
Yeah.
That's crazy. See, that's what I'm saying. It's so crazy how this team has so many ties to great Oxford baseball teams, Mike. Right. And y'all started it. That's the greatest thing I like about it. This was the team that got everything rolling for Oxford. And I mean, Gary, y'all's years didn't do too hot.
What you mean? We won that area
It took a little while to get back to
It
took a little while to get deep in the playoffs.
We won the area champs, and we played some good.
I mean,
good
for a
teams.
while, I can tell you this. For a while, Mike and I had to think: are we ever going to see it again? Are we ever going to see
Hold
a
on,
championship?
I'm not going to let a month. I can't let a month a guy say that kind of stuff, man. You got Gerald Bell and
no, I'm not saying they wasn't no good. I said it's just tough to get to the finals.
I will tell you, since you've been calling me a legend, I'll tell you a story that I do remember about baseball when I helped Charlie coach. Now, Charlie tells me when I told him this story, he tells me he didn't even remember this. Now, but I did remember it. I was coaching first base. We played center in I think it was semifinals or maybe it was quarterfinals. I think it was quarterfinals because it was a one-game series. We played center up there. Mike Simpson hits the ball in the center field. He rounds first, but we had a runner on second, okay? Runner on second scoring. He comes around third going to score. The center fielder goes over toward left field, grabs the ball, throws it hard. I send Mike to second base, okay? The center fielder hits the cutoff man, and they threw Mike out at second base. We lose that game by one run. That run that we got just then put us up.
Oh yeah.
But the game completes. The game finishes completing. We lose that game by one run, and I have held myself responsible for that ever since.
Coach, man, it was his fault.
I told Charlie that score. Charlie said, "I don't even remember you doing that."
You can't. I bet there's something else went on in that ball game.
Oh, and the other point to that story is Center won the state championship.
Well, yeah, that's a good team. That's a good team.
But we had a chance to get them there.
I mean, the thing about it is, and we got so much more to look forward to tomorrow night. I know it's not going to be on our show, but it is on TV 24, and it's Primetime Sports TV 24, so they're going to be covering it. And an hour before the game, we're going to have, I wish we had 3 hours.
Now,
because that's what
are y'all carrying the game too? You're carrying
No, we can't carry the game live because of the state rules.
Okay.
Playoff games are off limits to anybody.
I didn't realize
unless you are the NFHS that show it, they have a contract.
Gotcha.
But
you can do before.
But yes, now we will be carrying the state championship.
Okay.
And the girls softball state championship.
Awesome.
Which is both played here at Choccolocco Park.
Yep.
And so we will be carrying that. We just can't do the playoffs games up to it.
Gotcha.
But the good thing is the cameras and mics will be there. So maybe we can get before and in between and see what happens in the game and all, and see what happens.
And this should be a great series. I mean, look, Coleman is a runner-up from that area. Oxford beat Hartsville, the winner from that area, last week. But the Coleman and Hartsville games were nip and tuck. I mean, you're talking about almost the same team that they played last week. It's going to be a really good baseball game.
And Hartsville beat Oxford earlier in the season.
Yes.
So
with that Smith guy pitching.
Yeah. So now that was the matchup. Last week's matchup, Oxford-Hartsville, I talked about it, was a matchup everybody was wanting to see.
Yep.
They had to be 1-2 at the beginning of the season. It could have been either way. Oxford could have been 1, Hartsville could have been 2, or Hartsville could have been 1, Oxford 2. But they were the best two teams, we thought, in 6A. And it played out last week. Really good ball games. Oxford got the best of them in both of them. To sweep them there was a big deal for Oxford.
But I'm going to tell you this, like we were talking about with the Trent Simpson hit that catapulted them to the state championship. When they won that state championship, you might remember this if you went to the games in Montgomery. It was nip and tuck in that third game.
They took the lead until Jackson Stephen come up there and hit a home run up there on that railroad track.
It was nip and tuck, and Oxford did what it took to come out and win the championship.
Right.
And we all thought Oxford was going to win the championship easily, but Auburn gave them everything they could play for.
I can say this and then make me a proud parent on this deal. That first game Oxford played Auburn, my son Gary, that pitcher Auburn had struck out the first 6 batters. Gary got the first hit in that ball game for Oxford against that pitcher. I don't forget who it was, but he was a good one.
And I'll also tell you this, like Trent coming through and making that big play, big hit. I didn't make all county in baseball. I batted like
y'all had a bunch of guys making. Y'all put the whole team on there.
But I'm saying I batted like 292 for the year. Okay, I was a good baseball player. I don't know that I was a great baseball player, but my point is this: you showed me that I scored the winning run. I know I had a number of hits, three stolen bases in that series.
You had so many ink, it was crazy.
So what happened was a less than superstar baseball player made plays for this, and that could happen any time in baseball. A guy who's batting 292 can make the major play.
Hall of Fame. You can get in the Hall of Fame with a batting average like that.
Oh, I agree. Hey, it's the only sport where 3 of 10 is Hall of Fame. It's Hall of Fame. Look, run to this. What's on my screen if you can. You can take us out, guys. Great show. Appreciate having you on here, Mike. I loved it. The legend, 78 baseball legend. He didn't know he was a legend until I told him that he crossed home plate to take a winning run, which I'm glad I told him that. But listen, I want everybody to come out tomorrow. If you can get there at 4, come and watch them talk about this again. You can watch it right there. If you can't, come at 5, watch the games, 5 and 7:30. Pull for the Yellow Jackets. Hey, they may go ahead and take care of tomorrow night to play on Thursday. I'd like to see that myself. But, man, we appreciate you being on. We'll see you next week. Got anything else to say, guys?
Go Yellow Jackets.
Mike?
Go Yellow Jackets.
Well, we're leaving with Go Yellow Jackets, as both of these Yellow Jackets said that. So we'll leave with Go Yellow Jackets. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.